Straight ahead tonight at 6, Spokane County Sheriff's deputy, a former deputy accused of assault after an incident captured on camera. We'll tell you about this week's trial. We continue to track the possible development of a massive data center in our region, what we're learning from our local tribes, and which ones have been approached for a data center on their land. Plus, today's closed practice for Team Egypt brought the buzz to Gonzaga's soccer field as we are less than 24 hours away from the first match of the 26 World Cup.
And we've seen some lingering showers as well as winds throughout the afternoon. Everything quiets down, but temperatures are chilly once again for the overnight hours in the northern mountains. We'll talk about that, and then we'll get a look at that warm weekend forecast that's on the way. NonStop Local at 6 starts right now.
Sean Osley and Leslie Lowe with content connecting our community. You're watching NonStop Local KHQ at 6.
And we are continuing to track major developments around a proposed large-scale data center in our region. Good evening and welcome to NonStop Local KHQ at 6. Good to see you. I'm Sean Owsley. While several small data centers do exist in Spokane already, our focus is on hyperscale facilities. These are ones that require large amounts of land, energy, and water to operate. Spokane City Council members late this afternoon, Paul Dillon, Sarah Dixon, and Kate Tellis are taking preemptive action with an ordinance imposing an immediate one-year moratorium on new data center permits. The moratorium would halt the acceptance, processing, review, and approval of building permit applications for new data centers citywide. Council members say the pause will give Spokane further time to evaluate in detail the impacts of data centers and develop regulations. A public hearing and a potential vote set for June 15th. Well, Avista has not released any new information about the project after yesterday that they confirmed to us. We are investigating the possibility that this could be built on tribal lands. This is a big area of concern for activists who say that companies often exaggerate the jobs and revenue that come with data centers. In exchange, the centers get access to water and energy that tribes can't always afford to share. Today, our producers got in touch with the Spokane Tribal Business Council. Chairman Greg Abrahamson says they've been approached by data center companies and that they're always looking at avenues for economic development, but that they have had no partnerships or prospective builds at the moment. Kalispell Tribe has not returned our call as of news time. We are waiting for a comment from the Confederated Tribes at the Colville Reservation. In the meantime, we're tracking the potential impacts of the data center on our region's waterways, namely the Spokane River. My interview with the Spokane River Keeper is coming up, our 360 at 6:30.
You got your ID on you real quick?
No, I don't.
You're not shutting the door. You're not free to leave.
Yeah, I am.
You're not putting your shoes on for. You're not going anywhere.
And why is that, sir?
Why? Because you're refusing to tell me who you are, and you're probably going to end up going to jail.
Oh, for not giving you my name.
Yep.
Well, you just saw a portion of a tense interaction between Sheriff's Deputy Clay Hilton and 62-year-old Kevin Hinton, which moments later ended in violence. Now the deputy in question is preparing to be judged in Spokane Superior Court. The body camera video from that night is hard to watch. Hinton ended up with broken ribs, a punctured lung, and mental trauma. Today, selection began for the jury that will decide if he committed second-degree assault and made false statements to law enforcement. Here's NonStop Local KHQ's Bill Lewis.
Former Spokane County Sheriff's Office Deputy Clay Hilton is currently facing 2 charges. One for second-degree assault, which is a Class B felony punishable by a maximum of 10 years in prison and a fine of $20,000. And Hilton also facing a gross misdemeanor charge for false swearing, which is when someone makes a statement they knew to be false under oath. The maximum penalty is 364 days imprisonment and or a $5,000 fine. But let's go back to August 14th, 2023, the date of the incident. Right now, you are watching body cam footage. Now, according to court documents and a review conducted by the Spokane Police Department at the request of Sheriff John Knowles, Clay Hilton was allegedly on patrol for the Spokane Valley Police Department when he encountered Kevin Hinton's vehicle at a park. Court documents then allege that Hilton approached the vehicle and the two men exchanged words. At one point, body cameras appear to show Clay Hilton saying to Kevin Hinton that he was, quote, going to jail. Then Hilton appeared to place Hinton under arrest, as you see in the body cam footage footage on your screen right now. Court documents allege that Hilton grabbed Hinton's head and struck him several times, resulting in severe facial bruising and bleeding, as well as cracked ribs and a flail chest. Now, an investigation was launched into the incident, resulting in these charges, and now the trial date finally here. It does appear, according to witness list, that Kevin Hinton, who was injured in the altercation, will take the stand. Opening statements are expected to begin Monday. Reporting in studio, Belle Lewis, NonStop Local.
Now to a live look, Maple Street Bridge this evening, where traffic is flowing, but just 12 hours from now, there will be no cars, trucks, buses, or pedestrians making their way across that span. That's because the city of Spokane is closing the bridge down for the next 2 weeks. NonStop Local KHQ's Rachel Turcotte live from the bridge tonight. Hi, Rachel. Good to see you. The city announced the closure last week. Today, we spoke with city leaders about why this is necessary.
Yes, Sean. Well, as you can see, there are many drivers behind me on the Maple Street Bridge right now, and a lot of them rely on this bridge to get to work. And the city says that the public works will continue the grind and overlay project that was put on pause last year, starting tomorrow morning, which is going to impact a lot of people's routes to work. So here's what you need to know. Northbound drivers will be detoured at 4th Avenue to head east to Lincoln Street or Division Street to continue northbound. Southbound drivers will be detoured at Boone Avenue to head east to Monroe Street or Division Street to continue south. We spoke with Kirsten Davis at City Hall today, and she says that this was not a decision that the city made lightly.
If we close the whole thing, we can get it done much quicker. So we're sacrificing time, or the entire closure for less time of impact.
Davis also says that this choice also prioritizes the safety for construction crews doing the work. The goal here is to complete the job before Hoop Fest. Davis explains that the grind and overlay is a straightforward process and expects the project to be completed by the 25th of this month. And the city will have detours clearly marked, but if you want to take a closer look, we will have those detour maps posted on our website. Reporting live in Spokane, I'm Rachel Turcotte for NonStop Local.
Rachel, thank you. Let's take a look at the bridge now. This traffic change is likely going to frustrate some north-south drivers, but make sure you're driving safely on Wistocks Way and Monroe. And let's say this weekend might be the kind where you might want to avoid some downtown traffic. Get out of the city, relax, de-stress.
Maybe head to the lake. Head to the lake.
It's like I grabbed onto that with a little too much intensity. It just made too much sense to me.
No, it does make so much sense. I'm gonna grab right onto that as well and say yes. Make those plans to head out of town, head to the lake, head to the mountains, go enjoy.
Yeah, sounds
for
good.
sure. All right, today, still on the cooler side of our averages. Checked in at just 65 degrees in our daytime high. Normally 72 degrees, 44 degrees. That was our overnight low, also below our averages. And then sunset tonight is at 8:46. As far as what we're seeing wind-wise out there, still pretty blustery, especially back towards central parts of Washington. 20 to 40, even 45-mile-per-hour wind gusts is what we're seeing between Wenatchee and Ellensburg. Anywhere from 20 to 25 down through the Palouse and LC Valley, and about 25-30 for the Dalles. We're catching the back edge of this system that really has got the brunt of it over towards Alberta, pushing into Montana. We've got some pretty good thunderstorm activity that direction as well. But what we've got here is just some spotty showers as they push now and start to fizzle out towards the Idaho-Montana state line. So as skies start to clear as we head overnight tonight, the biggest concern is going to be those temperatures dropping because winds also died down, which means there could be some frosty spots up across those northern mountains, especially around Colville, Chewelah, Republic, Kettle Falls, Ione. So cover up those sensitive plants. Otherwise, we've got low to mid 40s from Spokane over towards Coeur d'Alene, and then upper 40s for the Tri-Cities. There is a nice warm up on the way finally as we get you into the weekend, which is why I'm kicking you out of Spokane and saying head to the lake for the weekend.
I think you pretty much told me to take a hike there.
It was a good hike, though.
Okay, all right.
It was a good hike.
I guess if you couch it under the good label, then I'm going to take a hike. All right. Thanks, Leslie. Appreciate you deeply.
Oh, boy.
All right. I'm in trouble now.
I would never tell you to
Always, once a week. The very first matches of the World Cup set for tomorrow. Soccer fans traveled from near and far to see Team Egypt at Luger Field in Spokane. Today was their only open practice to the public. NonStop Local KHQ's Noah Bolter was at the practice to capture the excitement. Joins us live tonight to tell us about it. Hi, Noah.
Well, Sean, this was for many fans a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Definitely some international event. And I'll tell you this fence right here, it was a display of some of the passion by some of those fans after practice sticking around to get signatures.
These are the people that I grew up idolizing, watching on TV, and they're in my city. I had to show up. Like, it's a no-brainer.
The decision to put in for the ticket lottery, an easy one.
The day that the tickets came out, I told my mom, I told my dad, I told my entire family, like, yo, we have to get these tickets. I have to be there.
But the wait?
I was so scared. I kept praying all day.
Not so much.
It was pretty stressful. Obviously, there was that fear of not getting it and being in the same state as them, not getting to see them train, not getting to see them at all. But thankfully, we made it.
2, 3, One, two, three.
For lifelong fans of Team Egypt, the draw.
See the GOAT, the Egyptian king.
And to feel closer.
A player of that status, to be on the biggest stage in the world and to see like he's from Egypt, from where I come from, it's a blessing just to be, in the area where he is.
But for Spokaneites...
Oh, we were excited. We thought, oh, that's great. We can go down and watch the team and watch them practice when there's no pressure on them.
And free tickets to see this...
1, 2, 3.
Priceless in comparison to the cost of a match in Seattle.
And then we heard what the cost was to go to a game in Seattle. But at least we could see the Egypt team here.
Oh, and Sean, many of the fans who I spoke to planning a trip to Seattle to watch Egypt versus Belgium on Monday. Live in Spokane, Noah Bolter, NonStop Local.
Noah, thank you. Well, the superintendent of the Longview School District in Western Washington pleaded not guilty to charges related to sexual assault allegations in her district. Karen Cloninger is charged with tampering with a witness, failing to report, and obstructing law enforcement after multiple students at Mark Morris High School said they were sexually assaulted by other students on the boys' basketball team. According to court documents, when Cloninger first heard about the assaults, she told the principal reportedly and 2 other district staff members that they were not obligated to report it and would instead handle the investigation themselves. Investigators say Cloninger tried to downplay what happened and told the school's principal to squash the situation. She was arrested back in May, weeks after the first reports in February. Earlier this week, she was placed on unpaid leave alongside 3 other district employees. Cloninger also has ties to our area. She worked as the assistant superintendent here in Spokane Valley until 2024. Also worked for Spokane Public Schools before that. A case set for trial in October. More than 11,000 Washington residents set to receive nearly $1 million in restitution after a multi-state settlement with a COVID test provider. Washington Attorney General Nick Brown announcing this today on the heels of an investigation into claims that GS Labs advertised cash prices for COVID-19 tests across the country. Patients who took the test between 2020 and 22 often waited weeks to get results that should have taken days. Thousands also reported that they were overcharged for tests or paid a fee for a test they were told would be free. The AG says eligible residents can verify and file your claims online with payments ranging from $5 to $200. Still to come here at 6, we're following more breaking news. Bradley Warren working on an update on the Iran war. That's right after the break.
And a live look over Spokane. We've still got a few spotty showers out there and some gusty winds, but everything quiets down as we head overnight tonight. It's going to be chilly, though, for some of our friends in the northern mountains. We'll talk about that. Get a look at that weekend forecast after the break.
Welcome back. We're following some breaking news, and Bradley tracking an update on those strikes in Iran that we told you about a little bit earlier this evening. Bradley, what have you learned?
Sean, we are learning right now from Central Command that it does look like U.S. forces have completed their strikes in Iran for this evening. And as a result of that piece of information being given to us, we are learning now what the targets were, as some video has also been made available to us from Central Command. They tell us right now that what they were able to do was launch strikes on the Iranian military services, their communication system, and air defense sites across their country. They say at this moment in time, again, they've completed what they were planning on doing this evening. Now all eyes turn to the White House. We are watching to see if there will in fact be any sort of a statement from the president this evening. Traditionally, after something like this has happened, we've seen him take to Truth Social. He has warned that there is potential for additional strikes to take place tomorrow. That's the latest right now. Sean, wanted to give you that update. We'll continue to follow this. We're looking again for reaction from the Iranians as well.
All right, Bradley, thanks for keeping a close eye on that for us. We are sharing the good with you now. And if you've ever been around the clubhouse of the Chewelah Golf and Country Club, you may have heard a group of ladies giving back to the community in a very special way.
They are a pretty great group. The Chewelah Charity Checks, they're making headlines as they continue to raise tens of thousands of dollars for their local food bank, scholarships, and more. This year, they just celebrated their 10-year anniversary of giving back to their neighbors.
There they are. It all started with golf. Over the last 10 years, the Charity Chicks say they have given back more than $120,000 to the community. And NonStop Local KHQ's Tori Smith joined them for a day of golf to hear their story.
I'm taking a swing at following the charity chicks around in Chewelah.
A group of almost 50 women who come together for a good time golfing, but also driving to make a positive impact.
We got started 10 years ago just as a way to get ladies to golf. And then we decided that because of that, then we'll do something different than all the other golf groups and be a charity.
These women golf weekly. Every lady brings $5 as a contribution designated for charity. Sometimes food, sometimes scholarships.
We started it in 2016. A group of us got together and decided it was time to give some money right back to this community.
And when golf season is done, they're not finished.
During the winter,
we play bunco.
Other fundraisers exist with the Charity Chicks too, like their yearly May yard sales in the 18-hole August golf tournaments.
Every penny that we raise goes to our local food bank. And so we raise about $8,000 on the tournament itself, and then we have baskets to bid on and 50-50 raffle and a bunch of side games, and everything goes to the food bank.
Their biggest goal is to fight hunger in their neighborhoods.
Chewelah is not a real rich community, and there are a lot of people that are in need. And so one of our first objectives was to help a little girl get to the hospital. It just makes you feel good when you help like that.
Kira Ralstead was a Chewelah teacher for 29 years. She saw firsthand what the children and what the community needed.
I got to know the kids really well, know the families, and I saw the trouble people were having to just try to make ends meet, to try to get the kids to college, and to encourage, kids on the right path.
With that in mind, the Charity Chicks put together 100 snack packs for students every week.
They hope to inspire other golf courses to do the same thing and expand this charity not only across the region, but possibly the nation.
I think it would be a great idea. And I hope maybe some people, if they see the story, will think about having a group like this at their course.
Chewelah has a kind heart, and they're just so generous with helping people that are in trouble.
In Chewelah, Tori Smith, NonStop Local.
Oh, I love the Charity Chicks. I go hang out with them. And Tori told me she couldn't golf, but that was a pretty good golf swing she had right there. All right, Tori, thanks so much for that. Let's talk about that pollen forecast, because if you've been out on the golf course or been out and about at all, you know that right now pollen counts are high, especially for trees and for grass, and they continue to climb as we head through the weekend. So you might want to grab that box of allergy medication and an extra box of Kleenex if you are headed out and about. And I'll just say hi to everybody at Fred Meyer and the nice gentleman who took my card today when I had to go run and buy some allergy medication earlier on today. So let's talk about that weather forecast. 66 degrees in Spokane, 62 degrees is our current temperature in Coeur d'Alene. We've got 62 in Pullman, and 68 degrees is our current temperature in Chewelah. Wind speeds anywhere from 10 to 15 miles per hour with stronger wind gusts down through the Palouse into the LC Valley, 20-25 miles per hour. The strongest winds remain back into central parts of Washington, about 28 miles per hour in Wenatchee, and then we've got some wind gusts at 43 miles per hour currently in Ellensburg. Satellite radar, strongest of the system that is to the east of us, is over towards Alberta, pushing into Montana, but we've had some of those stray showers on the outer edges here that have pushed through. Otherwise, as we get you into the overnights tonight, we'll slowly start to clear out and winds die down, which means temperatures are set to drop, especially up across those northern mountains. So my reminder again, cover up those sensitive plants, because we'll likely see some of those temperatures in those shelter valleys close to that freezing mark. Otherwise, 38 degrees tonight in Colville. We've got 45 degrees in Spokane, and then 43 degrees expected in the overnights tonight in Moses Lake. For tomorrow, we are looking for a return to sunshine and daytime highs popping up into the 70s. And then as we push forward into this weekend, we've got sunny, dry, warm weather that is on the way. Friday, I'm watching because there is a potential of the back edge of a system pulling through to bring in some showers and isolated thunderstorms for the northern mountains is what it looks like right now, but we'll fine tune that forecast. The real watch spot though, especially if you happen to be traveling or if you've got family members this direction, you can see the bullseye right here for the upper plains into the Great Lakes. This is where we've got that potential of severe weather as we push forward into our Thursday. So you can see that line continuing to make its way to the east as we get you through Thursday afternoon. Closer to home, BC, Alberta, you still have some showers your direction. Again, otherwise we've got mostly sunny skies and quiet conditions on our Thursday. I like our highs too. 73 degrees. We're about average for this time of the year in Spokane. We've got 72 in Coeur d'Alene. Daytime highs do pop into the upper 70s around Omak. We pop back down into the lower into the 70s for the Panhandle. And we'll hit the 80s tomorrow for places like Leavenworth at 82, 82 in Chelan, and 81 degrees are high tomorrow in Wenatchee. We've got low to mid 70s between Davenport and down through Ritzville, and then Montana tomorrow. Low to mid 70s, 80-degree temperatures expected in Lewiston. There's the ridge of high pressure. It will continue to nudge in. It's going to drive up our temperatures with the warmest day of the week on Tuesday. In fact, Tri-Cities could hit triple digits. We'll take a break. Austin's back with sports.
Live from the Northern Quest Sports Studio. This is SWX NonStop Local Sports.
Team Egypt has found their temporary home right here in Spokane. The Egyptian national team residing and practicing here in town before heading to Seattle for their first match of the World Cup on Monday and their matches beyond that. Today, the team holding their only open practice at Gonzaga. AJ Howell was there as the team hit the field in front of the fans for the first time.
One of the greatest soccer players is playing right here behind me in Spokane at Luger Field here at Gonzaga. That's of course Mohamed Salah. He's not the one we're used to seeing on Luger Field. Gonzaga women's soccer head coach Katie Ben says it's surreal to see this level of play on the pitch that she's so familiar with.
Just watching soccer at the level that they're at and seeing some of the things that we do as a team too, you know, a little reaffirming of who we are and what we do, but just mostly the experience of seeing this level right in our backyard.
Now, of course, this is all cool whether you're a soccer fan or not. So for the untrained eye, we had to ask Katie what she saw out of this group right now.
They seem relatively at ease, which is part of it. You know, going into the competition they're about to go into, having that level-headedness is kind of what I'm feeling, lightness, which is good and fun to watch.
So it's not just cool that this is happening at Gonzaga. It also means that the men's and women's soccer teams benefit and hopefully benefit from the fans' new interest in the future.
It's great. You know, that's one of the things. I've only been in this role. This will be my third season as head coach, and so really trying to build the culture of what I'm producing here as well is something that I've been working toward, and hoping to build off of this momentum is something that I've been looking forward to.
Reporting at Gonzaga, AJ Howell, SWX.
AJ, thank you. While the first World Cup matches are tomorrow, less than 24 hours the first time until Monday. They'll face Belgium in Seattle for their first of 3 group stage play matches. As far as the United States goes, the U.S. will play for the first time on Friday against Paraguay. That match happening in Los Angeles at 6 o'clock Friday night. All right, stay with us. The 6:30 with Sean Owsley starts in 60 seconds.
Sean Owsley with in-depth 360 coverage of content connecting our community. This is NonStop Local KHQ at 6:30.
Data centers like this can have a huge impact on local communities and local environments, and it's really concerning to us that this could move forward without having those adequate regulations in place. We need transparency and a clear understanding of these impacts before we move forward with large-scale data center development.
Continuing coverage for you tonight, what the future of a proposed data center in eastern Washington could look like for our region. Avista confirming Tuesday afternoon it is negotiating with an unnamed company to build a data center here. That confirmation late this afternoon, prompting a response from several Spokane City Council members. Good evening, I'm Sean Owsley. Welcome to the 6:30. A lot of information to get to now. Council members Paul Dillon, Sarah Dixit, and Kate Tellis announcing they are introducing an ordinance imposing an immediate 1-year citywide moratorium on the acceptance, processing, review, and approval of building permit applications for the construction of new computer data centers. In a joint statement, the council members saying they want to install a regulatory framework to address data centers specifically. They are a divisive issue for many people across the nation, communities being approached to allow these large, power-hungry facilities online.
Is there a motion to
post it? Those chants from protesters during an El Paso City Council meeting Tuesday on this very issue. Many in attendance opposing the council decision to move forward with an agreement to build for Meta to build a data center there. Closer to us, in the West Coast and the Northwest, a Portland suburb fully embracing data centers, the town of Hillsboro, home to 18 of them with 3 more in development. Just last week, members of the public challenging their city leaders to push back on development.
I'm deeply concerned by the explosion of data centers in our area. I'm a lifelong Hillsboro resident. Often doing the right thing is usually the hardest. It usually means breaking from the fold and stepping out on your own.
She and many other speakers pleading with city leaders there to do more to stop data centers from continuing to come into that area. But there are those who argue these major facilities are necessary to meet the growing demand for AI. Today, we spoke with Congressman Michael Baumgartner, asking him about his thoughts regarding the potential need to regulate data centers. Baumgartner saying no community should be forced to accept a data center if it doesn't want one, while also highlighting their potential benefits for our nation.
it's really important that America, for national security reasons, stay in front of China on the AI supercomputing race. And so, what's in these data centers is a lot of supercomputers that work at very high speeds to solve complex problems. So there's a lot of our national security apparatus that's within that.
A major concern raised by those opposing data centers, their potential impact to local waterways. For that part of the conversation, I spoke today in depth with Spokane Riverkeeper. Here's our 360. Give us those concerns specifically. What are you worried about?
Yeah, one of the biggest concerns that we see with data centers is really around the electricity and the energy demand. And, we do have issues with energy here already. We've seen rolling blackouts in the past. We've seen, difficulties maintaining our load throughout summertime in particular. And that's the exact same time that these facilities would also be at their peak. We're talking about facilities that can also use a significant amount of water, even though the technology is advancing and their water consumption rates are vastly different than they were even just 5 years ago. The research is still incomplete. We don't know what the technology looks like. We don't know very much about what their impact will look like on our region.
Have you looked at maybe other areas across maybe the West Coast? I know there was a lot happening over on the coast in Oregon, and how they've handled it, what some of the repercussions have been, or the ripple effects of something this massive going into a community?
We've seen a few different communities complaining about things like water pollution. I think it was a community in Georgia, actually, not Oregon, but they had their drinking water polluted by a facility of this magnitude. And we also see issues with, just the pollution that comes with them. A lot of them have significant air pollution, which, I'm a river person, but I also breathe the air, just like everybody else around. And I think it's really important when we think about these that the cumulative impact is really important. So when we look at places like Oregon, these facilities were built without regulation, without rules, and now they're trying to clean up that mess. They're trying to respond to the water pollution and the water crises that have been created. And we really don't want to be in that response position. We should be in a position to prevent those in the first place and really understand it and learn the lessons from what we've seen in other communities.
Let me ask you from a different angle, because it obviously took a major step forward within the last month or so. It became public knowledge that this was being talked about, and a potential agreement with this large data processing center and Avista. If it does move forward, what are some things along the way, some checklists, some benchmarks to make sure that if it does in fact come to this community, that it can be done responsibly and protect the environment at the same time?
Once the development starts and as the development process gets underway, we have the State Environmental Protection Act that allows us to, as citizens, to comment on these permits, and they're going to have to get building permits. They're going to have to get all kinds of permitting in order to construct these facilities. The other thing that we can look at is potentially water rights. A lot of these facilities, if they're using significant water, are going to try and get their own water rights, and those also have a public comment period. Depending on the final size, we might also get a national environmental review. If it's big enough, there might be one of those as well, and citizens will be able to comment on that as well. But really, it's hard to say exactly what we're going to have until there's more details about what this project actually is and where it's going to be.
Final question for you. How do we balance the collision course between the need for supercomputing and AI and the race against China and protecting the community that we live in at the same time?
It is a question of whether we do need to compete and, what do we value as a community? And the more we're able to look inward and really think about that as individuals, the more we'll be able to make those decisions as a community as well.
Big Six headlines and a related story. A new law aimed at protecting people from the misuse of their digital likeness through AI-generated deepfakes. It expands personality rights to cover digitally created or altered audio and video. Supporters say it addresses growing risks as AI makes it easier than ever to manipulate someone's image or voice without their consent. NonStop Local's Davis Rail takes a look at the new law.
A new law expanding protections for Washingtonians' personality rights goes into effect today. Substitute Senate Bill 5886 now adds forged digital likeness to one's rights. In layman's terms, forged digital likeness is any content digitally created made to look or sound indistinguishable from a real person. In more recent years, deepfakes have been used to trick or defame people, often in sexual or compromising ways. This law now saying without prior consent, each indeed be subject to fines and consequences of RCW 63.60. Courts will also be able to impound your devices or destroy the material entirely.
Davis Rail reporting. Important to note, the law also raises the civil penalty for violations to $3,000. Spokane deputies arrested a woman overnight on suspicion that she was under the influence when she reportedly hit and killed a pedestrian. Deputies say 40-year-old Kaylee Peters was driving on West Price Avenue about 1 a.m. this morning, just west of North Division in Spokane. She called police after she said she hit a woman who was in the middle of the street with her dogs. That woman died. You're looking at Peters' first appearance in court. She told deputies she didn't see the woman until impact. Ultimately, deputies have recommended the charge of vehicular homicide. They believe she was under the influence of drugs at the time based on her field sobriety test. They did not find any levels of alcohol in her system at the time. Her defense attorney tried to argue that in her favor today.
She remained at the scene. She called 911 immediately. She was visibly shaken, and I think that comes across because of what had happened. I think Ms. Peters is concerned here. It's one thing if it's an accident, which I think that's what this was. I don't think that this ultimately will rise to criminal responsibility.
Well, Peters' blood was drawn at the hospital. There's usually a wait time to get results back, specifics. Based on this case and her prior criminal history, Peters is being held at Spokane County Jail on a $150,000 bond. Another arraignment now scheduled for June 16th. The U.S. launched another round of strikes against Iran this afternoon into this evening after President Trump blamed the nation for downing an American Apache helicopter on Monday. Bradley Warren tracking new details for us at this hour tonight. Bradley, what have you learned?
Hey, Sean, we are learning right now from Central Command that the United States has completed its strikes for this evening in Iran. We have new video available to us right now from Central Command, giving us a little bit of an idea as to what those strikes looked like. And we've now learned what some of the targets were. They are letting us know that they struck Iranian military surveillance capabilities, communication systems, and air defense sites across the country. They say the strikes are in response to Iran's unwarranted and continued aggression. U.S. forces remain vigilant, lethal, and ready. That is a direct quote right now from U.S. Central Command as we are monitoring the White House this evening, waiting to see if President Donald Trump will make some sort of remark regarding the situation that is evolving there. You'll remember earlier today, the president said not only is the United States ready to strike, but will continue to do so. There was belief, of course, that this would happen today. You're now looking at video of that taking place. But there's also belief that there's potential for more strikes to take place tomorrow. That's based off of conversation from the president and the Secretary of Defense. Watching this right now, we have not seen anything from Iranian state media pertaining to what's unfolding there. Watching all of that, and I'll bring you an update on Pulse Prime at 8 o'clock. For now, though, Sean, back over to you.
Bradley, thank you for the update here at this half hour. Appreciate it. Check out this picture grabbed by one of our employees today. That is the Maverick gas station in Oregon near I-90 in the valley. No, your eyes are not deceiving you. The price on display, the non-member price, $4.98. It's been a little while since we've seen gas under $5 a gallon. It was April 15th when we first reported the price reaching that amount. At $5.14 a gallon, the average price of gas, according to AAA, Washington and the Spokane area, still exceeds the $5 mark. But this graphic gives you an idea of how much gas is now compared to a week ago and where we were a month ago when the average at that time was $5.34 a gallon. So you can see the trend line. For those curious, the average cost in Cooney County, $4.33 a gallon right now. Don't forget, if you see a price that goes under $5, snap a photo if you can, share it with us. Scan the QR code on your screen. Tell us where it is on our News Tips page. A record 27th gray whale washing up dead in Washington this year. The latest 3 days ago, marking the fourth found dead in the Olympic National Park alone. Canada's Fishery and Ocean Department reports at least 122 gray whales have been found dead along the west coast this year. That includes 55 in the U.S., 59 in Mexico, 8 in Canada. Scientists point to a steep drop in the gray whale population.
Prior to 2019, the population of gray whales was estimated at over 25,000. And that has declined precipitously in the last 10 years. And the most recent abundance estimate was that it was all the way down to 13,000, less than half.
Researchers say changes in the Arctic feeding grounds may be impacting the species, signaling a larger ecosystem shift. Major traffic disruption for you to be aware of. The Maple Street Bridge here in Spokane will be shut down for 2 weeks. That kicks off tomorrow night. Northbound drivers will be detoured at 4th Avenue to head east on Lincoln or Division to continue northbound. Southbound drivers detoured at Boone, head east on Monroe or Division Street to continue south. Much more to come tonight here on the 6:30 key inflation metric hitting a recent high. How those numbers impact you directly.
And we've still got some breezy conditions out there, but winds die down overnight tonight. Skies clear and temperatures drop, especially up across those northern mountains. We'll get a closer look at that and then the warm up that is on the way as we get closer into the weekend. We saw those daytime highs just into the mid-60s today. It's also been pretty breezy on and off throughout the afternoon. Sunset tonight, 8:46. Winds start to die down. Showers tapering off. The bulk of the activity really is over to the east of us, Alberta, over towards Montana. We've just seen a few lingering showers throughout the afternoon. It will be chilly, though, as those skies clear up in the northern mountains. Some of those protected northern valleys could see those overnight lows fall to freezing or just above, which means a little bit frosty. Watch those sensitive plants. 45 in Spokane. We've got 43 in Moses Lake, and then upper 40s for the LC Valley and over towards the Tri-Cities. This is our watch spot for tomorrow. The potential of some severe weather for the northern plains. You can see pushing into the Great Lakes. If you've got travel plans, check with your air carrier before you head out the door. Check with your family if they live that direction. You can see here this system creating all the issues for Alberta, really into Montana. Will push into the Dakotas as we head through the day tomorrow. And there we have got mostly sunny skies. So Thursday afternoon, look for that sunshine. Again, we've got a nice return to daytime highs bumping into the 70s, so closer to our averages for this time of the year. 73 in Spokane, low 70s from Sandpoint down into Coeur d'Alene. We've got 80-degree temperatures tomorrow for Lewiston and Orofino. That is not correct, Grangeville. I don't know why it just keeps flipping out on me, but you'll see those daytime highs in the low into the 70s. Back into central Washington, upper 70s and low 80s all the way down into the Tri-Cities with that high at 83 degrees. But this area of high pressure sitting offshore, this is what is responsible for the heat that pushes in as we get you into the weekend and the start of this next week. We're talking about 80s as we get you into the second half of the weekend, and then we're talking about 90-degree temperatures on Tuesday. That's the warmest day in the 7-day forecast before we start to see that gradual cool down. But Tri-City, Sean, could see temperatures in the upper 90s, maybe triple digits.
Cooking.
It's going to cook.
Yeah, heating up. All right.
It's a little flip of the switch.
You know, it's really nice weather. That would fall right in line with you taking a 4-day weekend.
You know, it really would, wouldn't it now?
You going to do it?
Yeah, I think I will.
Starting when?
Yeah, tomorrow.
What? You're off tomorrow?
You said. You said I could take a 4-day weekend.
Yeah, we've learned I have no power around here. Come on.
Well,
that's
fine.
obvious.
You know what? I'm going to take a 4-day weekend anyway.
Okay. Well, you enjoy that.
I'm
Don't
going
think
to.
of us. Disconnect and have a great time.
I'm going to disconnect.
All right. We'll try to keep it standing.
Yeah,
where
I'm
we're
going to take a little breather, but I'll see you back here next Wednesday.
All right. Look forward to that.
Thank you, Sean.
Take
have
care.
a great weekend.
Enjoy your time off.
Thanks.
Consumer news now. The FDA approving a new sunscreen ingredient for the first time in more than 20 years. It's called bimotrizanol, and it's been used in Europe for decades. Health experts say it's a safer option to many chemical ingredients already in use here in the States. FDA says the ingredient protects against both UVA and UVB rays, with UVA protection being significant due to reports that many U.S. products aren't as strong in protecting against them. 2 movie trailers released today in the headlines and trending. More than 15 years after the film The Social Network told a story about how Facebook came to be. A trailer for The Social Reckoning is telling a newer version. The film centers around the Facebook Files, 21 investigative series revealing Facebook's harmful effects on teens and its role in spreading misinformation. Aaron Sorkin returns as a writer and director. The Social Reckoning set to be released in October. And Prime Video releasing the trailer for season 1 of the Legally Blonde prequel series Elle, set in a Seattle high school in the 90s. Time warp. According to IMDb, the series was filmed in California and Vancouver, BC. Elle will be on Prime Video July 1. Time to check your business headlines. Here's Kate Rooney.
This is CNBC News Now. I'm Kate Rooney. The markets were down sharply across the major indices in Wednesday trading as inflation hit a 3-year high and the president threatened more strikes against Iran. The Dow was down 953 points. S&P 500 fell 120 and the tech-heavy NASDAQ down 2% or 509 points. Inflation accelerated in May as rising energy costs drove prices up for consumers. According to the Labor Department Wednesday, the Consumer Price Index for last month jumped to 4.2% on an annual basis, the highest inflation reading in 3 years, but it was in line with expectations. In addition to energy prices, the index showed AI and tariffs put upward pressure on prices. The Commodity Futures Trading Commission, CFTC, which regulates the predictions markets, unveiled a new proposal Wednesday cracking down on bets over war, terrorism, and assassination. The CFTC did leave a gray area around gaming, proposing to narrowly define some gaming as pure luck, which would allow the majority of sports contracts that trade now to continue. Several states have challenged predictions platforms, arguing that sports-related contracts amount to betting, which is under their jurisdiction. CNBC and prediction platform Kalshi have a commercial relationship that includes customer acquisition and a minority investment. That's today's CNBC News Now.
I'm Sam Adams with Kalai Chalk. Tomorrow here on the Wake Up Show.
Major construction on Maple. The detours you'll need to know as the bridge shuts down in both directions. How long it'll affect your morning commute.
And the first game of the FIFA World Cup. We got your soccer trivia tomorrow.
And a special story to share with you for our One Good Thing tonight. Maryland state troopers and first responders honoring the daughter of a fallen trooper at her high school graduation. And here is video, and it is emotional, as you would imagine. The gathering at McDaniel College, 18 troopers and first responders, some coming out of retirement, to stand in place of Trooper Mickey Lippy, who died in the line of duty in 2008. His daughter, Madison, who you see here, walked across the stage wearing her father's flight wings and class ring. In addition, a surprise flyover paying tribute to the trooper's legacy as his colleagues pledged to continue supporting future milestones. Madison says she plans to become an EMT to help people and follow directly in the footsteps of her father. Fantastic story. That's a wrap for the 6:30. I'm Sean Alsey. Have a great night. Take care. See you tomorrow.